Alright guys, so what I've been trying to do over this past couple months is find things that are quick, easy, and functional as formative assessments in your class that can use technology. That's because I think we all recognize that time is one of our biggest factors here, and we know that there's a lot of pressure to do formative assessment, incorporate technology. You can turn the volume up. Yeah, absolutely. Turn the volume up here.
Why?
Okay. And well, you want it down. We'll put it up in a second. So one of the ones that I tried, I know last year Kyle introduced a few to us, and I know for me, I didn't jump right on board, so I was kind of resistant to it, and then I was like, well, why am I not doing this? So it's a little bit of fear, a little bit of maybe the technology is not easy, so I've kind of been on a little bit of a journey trying to figure these things out, and it's actually been really great in my classroom. I've seen kids get really engaged with this, and I think it's been worthwhile. So what I did today is I put together a little Kahoot. So if you're not on it yet, if you can go to kahoot.it, okay? And I put together a little Kahoot about formative assessment, okay? So what it is you're going to see, it's a game, and you get points for how quickly you get answers answered and if you get them right. So again, what I want, the idea of formative assessment is usually quick, immediate feedback, and a useful thing for us is that it's recordable and trackable, right? So you can put something in your grade book afterwards, right? So Kahoot does allow you to do all those things, and as we go through, we'll kind of discuss a little bit about formative assessment, and then hopefully you'll kind of see how it can be used for formative assessment in your own classroom, and then we'll go from there. So, once you get to kahoot.it, okay, oh look, you guys are already logging in and everything. Now I have a button here to kick you out if you use an inappropriate name, okay? So, right here you can see I have a way that I see how there's an X, so if Nancy put in something, that was inappropriate, I just go click, and I kick her out of the game. So, I see 10 players, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just need something that catches to the internet.
I have something as well.
Phone's good. It's fine.
Yeah, you're working?
Come on.
Okay. So I should be seeing here 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 of us. Okay? So, and now we're going to public music though.
If you kick someone out, they
can re-log in and put in an appropriate name. So all you got to do is retype the game pin. So
Depends on what kind of
if we ever get to the point of bring your own device, okay, where kids can use their own smartphones, and they can get on the Wi-Fi, there's an app, okay, on your phones, and you can do it right from here. So one of the challenges right now is that you have to bring people to somewhere they can get onto a device, okay? So that can take up a little more time than really what it should. Yes?
How did you pick somebody up?
Oh, all I have is you can see how I can just click on their names. So you do need a projector. You do need to be hooked up to a projector so the kids can see the questions. Okay? So we got 12 players. We're just waiting for Trudy. There's always one. I'm just kidding. Those are the things I'm going to I'm gonna edit out all those little comments. Okay, so we got 13. So again, there's no judgment here because it's formative assessment. And we have the added aspect that it's a game. So the kids, you're gonna see little messages pop up on your screen saying you're in first, you're in second, you're in sixth, behind this person. And the leaderboard will probably change quite a bit as we go. And at the end of each question, we have a chance to discuss where everybody either went right or wrong. Okay? So we're gonna start. So you got a little front screen you can make here. So I have a little thing here, 7 questions. Formative assessment is, and you don't see the questions on there, only answers. Okay, you gotta hit it on there. Yeah. The quicker you get it, the more points you get. You're not in there?
Says I'm in. 7, 6.
Well, somebody else has an answer. Okay. Wow! You guys are smart. You guys know everything about formative assessment here. So I'm not sure why you're
No,
not
you
in.
just
Maybe.
sit up there and you just
Just
pick
pick the color.
the color out.
Okay. So,
Just for showing up, I
Okay.
get
So here we go, we have our right answer. So right away you see how the class is doing. You know if your class is on track or not. If, in this case, maybe you don't have to spend a lot of time talking about this question because clearly people are on track. So that's great. Now one of the problems is you can't put in a lot of characters. There's a character limit for questions and answers. So that is a challenge. Okay.
Where are the other two people?
One.
So
Wolfie.
Wolf is right there. So we're going to see the leaderboard. You probably got a little message up there, and we're going to move to the next
No more
question
questions,
here.
please. No more questions.
Okay.
So go to the bathroom.
See if this one comes up.
All right. So next here, formative assessment provides evidence of achievement for the purpose of judgment.
Next question.
We're
Can't catch up.
Okay. So again, you can see here we have a little bit more debate on this one. So. Obviously, in formative assessment, we're not passing judgment yet, right? We're trying to build to that point where we're passing judgment. So, if you have an image, you can notice I have some images in there. If you want to go back to discuss, you could put in a math formula, you could put in a scientific equation, whatever you want. You can go back to that. So, what I did is I put in this here. So, when the chef tastes the soup, okay, when the guests taste the soup, okay. So, formative assessment is our practice, right? We're getting, after the chef tastes it, you can add some salt and pepper, right? You can fix things up, and then when you take the test, that's when everyone shows up, and they either like your they like your soup or they don't. Okay, so all I'm trying to do is just give you some examples of what you could do in terms of using it as a formative assessment in your own context. Okay, so we can click that out.
I still
All
disagree.
right, Wolfie's still there.
I better dial it back or I'm going to be complaining
All right, next, the primary purpose of summative assessment is to
What would you say?
Okay, so you can see here we have again a mixture of answers. So the other three were things that are supporting formative assessment. So again, I could go back to my image if you want to discuss. Well, we have our content, we have our assessment, we get our grade from that, right? So I have also, if you want to put clues in there, I've been trying to put little clues in the pictures to help people along. So again, we're trying to make grading decisions with our summative. Formative, we're trying to support student growth. We're trying to help teachers understand what's working and what's not, and maybe you have to change some of your teaching methods. And we're trying to build that understanding of an outcome.
Now I'm trying to think of questions the kids might ask because I really don't care.
Yeah?
So, if I answer incorrectly,
Yes.
does that deduct points? Or if I don't answer the question at all, does that deduct points?
I think as you're noticing, you get 0 points for a right answer. So what I'm going to do at the end is I'm going to export the results, and I'm going to show you what you'll see as a teacher. What you can do, you can save the results, you can export them to a number of different places, and then you'll see what you get at the end and what you can do for your gradebook. Okay, so and to answer your question simply, you're not in the lead anymore.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, so all right. Next question. The most important function of formative assessment is to
Yes, March vibration.
Yeah.
I like that.
too fast? What? Can you be too fast?
Finally.
All right. So,
Not until then.
Good.
so really, did you like my little cartoon here? That we need some better. So really, one of the important things, and studies certainly show that feedback is one of the most important things for formative assessment. So right now, I think a lot of us do formative assessment, but we struggle finding the time to do the feedback properly and get information back to the kids so they can then take that and really improve their understanding of an outcome. So.
Where did you find this comic? Did you create that yourself or something?
Oh yes, I totally created that all. I spent hours making all these images. That was another part of my technology course. No, I used the Google. Okay? The Google. Yeah. So I used the Google, and I just put in some image searches and found a few things for you guys. Okay. All right. We're getting close. So, we have a new leader. Okay. She already knew that though. She was on her screen, right? She knew she was in first. Just you didn't necessarily. Okay. So let's go in. We're now at 5 to 7. Which of these would not be an appropriate type of formative assessment?
Nice. Sorry.
Okay. So certainly, quizzes could be used for formative or summative depending on how you stretch them out. We're doing a little quiz right now. It's summative. Certainly exams are typically summative. I'm just really putting in some questions here to get you guys talking, right? How about this one? This one's more about equity in exams, right? Have you ever seen this one? Okay, a fair selection for everybody. For a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree. So, I think I saw that one first when I did like an equity and leadership class, and we were talking about how that not all summative assessments are equitable. Okay? So, all right. So you got a little more time to jump to the lead. Yep.
Student arrives late to class.
Yes.
Can they join in?
Once it's started, we can't get people joined in.
Okay.
But what you could do is you can administer the quiz a number of times, right? So you could do it again at a later, if they want to come in at lunch or something like that, you can just pop it up on the screen, and it only takes a couple minutes to do it. So yeah, I mean it's not perfect that way, and what you'll see is all the apps that you ever try, there are good and bad things about them, and there are advantages and disadvantages. This one I like because the kids usually have fun. Like I used it for my CP history class, and they said it was the most fun they'd ever had in the class. So, and they wanted to do more, which I was like, okay, let's do more.
Do it every day.
Okay, every day for the rest of class.
As it is
So-
now, I don't get my kids to do formatives if they miss them. They get a not yet observed anyway.
Yep.
So, excuse, right?
Exactly, you just put an excuse, so it's not the end of the world, but certainly you'd like to get everybody in there. All right, so we got 2 more questions. This is shown to be a significant contributor to increased student achievement. All right, so that was an easy one. That was an easy one here. So you'll notice that when everyone gets it right, the image doesn't come up. So I can't click on the image to go back and discuss it because I guess we're assuming that you guys know everything about it. I'm assuming because I have noticed that if everyone gets it right, I can't click on the image to go back and check that out.
Are you getting, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you getting more points for answering questions?
Yes, quickly. Yeah, so absolutely. But you can turn that off. You can set the amount of time that people have. There are other options. So after this, we'll go into getkahoot.com and we'll look at what you could do to set up an actual Kahoot yourself. Okay? So that one was a pretty easy question. We certainly know studies have shown that better formative assessment leads to better student achievement. All right. Heather, no pressure. Okay, only one more question. Okay. Oh, jeez. All right. Most of a teacher's planning time should be spent on planning summative assessments.
How
come it's a little teacher
the picture? Thank you, Lexi.
So, I think one of the things that we've struggled with as teachers is, often we're pressed for time, so we want things that are going to go in our grade book, right? So we want to get credit for the work that we do. So we do summative things so we can record marks, but really, I can't, I don't know the image, maybe I can get the image up here. There we go. So really, what I'm trying to do is give you some options to make it quicker, so you can spend more time and populate your grade book with some good data and give the students some good feedback. Okay. So that's the end of the quiz, I believe. So Heather. Okay.
Wow.
So.
Close monitor.
There we go. Excellent. Okay. So what I can do here is we can see that the HVK had 7 correct, 0 incorrect. So now, what you can do... Yeah. So what I'm going to do here is, you see I've got a feedback and results button, so I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on final results, okay? And then I'm going to go to save results, okay? And I'm going to, if you're logged in, if you have a Google Drive account, okay? If you're logged into Google, you can save them straight to your Google Drive. Okay, or you can download them, which I'll do right now, and I will open that with...
Google Drive is late today, so...
Yeah. Certainly I've been working with that a little bit as well, and hopefully I'm going to see where that just went. Yep, okay. So it's going to come up here for me. It's not responding. That's not good. Here we go. All right, so I get my symbol data right here. I've got all my names. I've got 7, so I can see exactly how they did. So if
You
you...
see mine how I would have been higher, except for this first one didn't show up on my phone. See how it says 6
Yeah.
and 0? Just want to...
Just want to point that out. Okay.
No, but that's
Yep.
I'm just joking about that.
Yeah.
But it did let me do it, even though I didn't
Look out.
get all the questions. Because
So-
the first one didn't show up on my thing.
Yeah. I mean, I have had in the middle of a class, I've had the server drop out on me for a second, and then I've had to restart the whole thing. So it's technology, right? It works as well as the technology works. But you can see it gives you some clear results. So if you want, you can put in the results as a formative assessment, unclick that button so it doesn't count. You can put them in straight like that. If you use codes, certainly, meets, does not meet, however you have set that up, it gives you information to make those judgments. Down here you can see how quickly people were getting, that's the points. Whether you're going to use that data or not. And then as you scroll over, you can see what each student, how they did. Okay? So what you can do is if you wanted to give that straight back to a student, you could print that form out, maybe blow it up a little bit and cut it in strips, and you can give that right back so they see which questions, although the students have had immediate feedback on whether they got the question right or wrong, and hopefully, what I've been doing is I've been talking about each question to make sure everyone's on the same page before we move on to the next one. Okay, so that's how I've been using it. There are other ways to use it too. Okay, so this is by creating a quiz. Try to think here. There's a couple little things. I mentioned the idea of the characters. So I have found it difficult to construct my questions to be short enough to get. So if you had a quiz, a formative quiz, and you wanted to put it online, you might not be able to just copy and paste it in, right? Because your question may be too long. So I've had to really think about how I'm wording these questions to try to get them fit in. So that was one of the challenges I found with using it. But certainly what I like is that it gives you results. You can see them right afterwards. You've had a good discussion. The kids have had a little fun. It kind of introduces the idea of gamification. I don't know if you guys have kind of heard of that idea. And maybe if you have kids, you've seen the kids do some video game and they fail on a level 1,000 times, but they don't get upset. Right? Whereas when we see students in school fail on something, they get upset and they shut down. So it introduces that element of it's okay to make mistakes and to compete. It's something kind of new to me as well that I've kind of discussed over the summer in some different courses. Something worth it. There's a whole field out there on gamification. Minecraft is being used as a whole thing. I don't know anything about that, but I do know that I've seen this work in the classroom. So if you try it, I would encourage you to try it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to close this down. And if you want to go to getkahoot.com, you can very easily open up your own account while we're talking. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to, new game here. Is that going to take me to the right?
How
There we
did
go.
you do this in the classroom with the kids? Did you take them to a lab? Or?
I had to take them to a lab. I would love to have 30 odd devices in my classroom. I would love to have a bring your own device program so that I could have people on their smartphones and with that and a few tech tubs.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be here really soon. Steve was
yeah.
saying yesterday, it's gonna be here.
So hopefully that will make it easier because right now it does end up taking way more of a class than it should, right? That's not what we want,
Kids
you
can
know?
work together.
Exactly. But then you don't get the recordable results. Now, formative assessment in the end is not about results really, except that we've been asked by the school and the school board to show formative assessment in our grade books, right? So because of that recording element, that's not the true purpose of formative assessment. The true purpose is having students understand the material better, but that's a requirement that they want. So you can see up here, I've got I've had 112 players. I've got 4 different Kahoots. I've got different questions. So I've made I've made a few Kahoots. I've made one for my economics class called Type of Markets. I've done one on the Hudson Bay. I've done one on the peopling of the Americas, and we've done that in class. Do you want to do one of those? Okay, well, we'll see how much. I don't know how much time we have. I haven't been watching the time here, but I think we're almost done.
Is this a Canadian server?
So the good thing about this is you're storing no data on your servers, right? And I understand. So when if you use Plickers or something like that, yes, you do have that concern, but you can import a roster into Plickers, but you just change the last names to So for Stockdale, just put Chris S. And then you should be okay because you're not storing like student information off. But we're not storing anything there. It's an Excel file here that's I exported, or I can put it in my Google Drive and I'm saving it to my, somewhere that's mine. Okay, so I'm not storing any information out of the country, but that is a good question. So you can see down here, I used the quiz button to do that. So I'll just quickly show you. So I'll start. I'll give it a name. Okay, I'll just say Chris. Oops, except I spelled it wrong. Okay, and then from there, I can type in a question, I can choose an image, down here I have my answers, I can click which one I want to be the correct answer. Again, I can have it a points question, or if I don't want to have the points, okay, I can take that off so it's just right or wrong. I can, if it's, say it's a math or science problem that takes a little while to work out, you can give them more time, okay, so... But you can see 95 characters up here and 60 characters for the answers. Now, here you do have the ability to put in I think those are math and science things. I don't really understand that stuff, but you can do stuff. Okay, you can do stuff that are symbols. Okay, but you can also put in an image in here. So if you needed something more complex, you could put that in there too. Okay.
And so that browses to the internet, or can you browse to your own?
You can browse to your own files, or if you have something on your desktop, you can just drop it in there. Okay, or you just pull it over and drop it in. So I'm going to go back here. Oops.
Does this work on Mac devices as well? Is it easy?
I believe so. I haven't used it on Mac, but if you want to create a discussion, you can do a discussion here. So have it set up a little bit differently. You can also set up a little survey as well. Okay? So those are some of the functions of that. And I've used it mostly for quizzes, okay? Just because the kids seem to have a lot of fun with that.
Does survey allow them to put an answer in, or do they still have to choose from 4 answers?
Okay, well let's go in and let's take a look right now. So I'll just do the survey, Chris.
5 minute warning.
5 minute warning.
5 minute warning.
Okay, perfect. All right, so
They choose.
no, it sounds like they choose.
Okay.
Yeah, they do choose. Okay, so everyone kind of got them. I might encourage you. I really just encourage you to try it out. To create a quiz. Maybe it's a five question quiz. It takes a couple minutes. And what it allows you, even in the survey one, right? What it can do is promote some discussion, right? So you have a one answer or another answer, and then you can have a conversation about that. I think that's what's good about this is you can take time to converse about the questions and answers as you're going along, and the kids will get something out of that. That was pretty good. Any questions about how we kind of go through that? I think that was all I had for Kahoot.
Can you go back to the Excel document for a sec?
For the Excel document?
Yeah, Excel.